Welcome to the Canon booth. It's pretty exciting. I'm Jon Sagud. I manage the Pro Market Group, cinema, television side of Canon. I've got a team of guys and gals all over the country that are basically the support network for cinema EOS and professional DSLR. What you're looking at right here is kind of answer to prayer for us. We've been brought into the development model for Canon. They've listened to us, those in the field, and what we're seeing in the Mark II is really a direct response to all the things that we asked for after the 300 was introduced. So it's an arm-long list of feature sets. The big bullet points, of course, is that it's now a 15-stop dynamic range camera, which is extraordinary. It's a 4K camera. It's an internal recording 4K camera. It records to CFast cards. It's a 410 megabit per second bit rate. It's the highest in-camera bit rate that exists today. We've taken our MXF wrapper that we've used for our MPEG-2 recording technology for the last few years, and we have basically incorporated an MPEG-4 codec inside that MXF wrapper. We call it MX-ABC. This is giving us the ability to shoot at HD, 2K, and 4K at a bit rate of, in the 4K concern, it would be a 10-bit recording system. In the HD and 2K, it's 10 or 12-bit. So for those of us that have shot these cameras and shot competitive product, honestly, being able to shoot HD or 2K at 12-bit is my dream come true. The deliverables today are still 80% HD, and frankly, the ability to record at a 12-bit with the color gamut and the DR that this camera has makes it, in my opinion, one of the finest cameras on the market. So we're real excited about it. Lots of little feature things. One of my missions is to travel the country and get feedback directly from the rental houses, because that's where the rubber meets the road, that's where the action is, so that's the feedback I want the most. The single number one positive or plus that I heard literally everywhere was, we love your camera because it works. These cameras do not break down. We love their reliability. So that's a great thing to hear. That came with a caveat. Your handles break, and when your cables break or your cables fail, I've got to pull the handle and everything off with it, and there should be a better solution. So with the Mark II, everything about the camera is more robust. It's actually 3 pounds heavier than the original C300. That's largely due to the reinforced body design, as well as the top handle technology. So we've really professionalized the camera, and we've created Hiroshi interchangeable cables for both video and audio to the monitor. So it really, the camera kind of does exactly what we want it to do now. So I can't tell you how stoked we are as the field people to see the response from Canon Inc. They've really delivered. The thing that sets a Canon cinema camera apart from virtually anything else in the industry is the fact that Canon is the only company that builds lenses and cameras. So there's a huge advantage to being able to communicate between body and lens. DAF, the dual pixel autofocusing technology that we've built into these cameras, is a technology that we're all extraordinarily keen on, but we all, as users, prefer to refer to it the same way you did, as a focus assist tool. It's an option. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. The beauty of it is it works so incredibly well. The response time is exactly what you want it to be. It's not too quick, it's not too slow, it has a very nice ramp to it. The ability to lock focus on where you want it and disengage and have it refocus to a different part of the scene is frankly the way I use it. The focus guide technology, which in my opinion is the coolest thing about it, is the fact that I disabled the AF technology. I now have visual tools in my finder that allow me to know exactly when I'm on target. So we've really done some amazing things that integrate our lens building technology and the camera building technology. Second thing that you brought up is the built-in LUTs. One of the things that we got as constant response on the C300 was, gee, we brought it in as a B camera to our Alexas, smaller footprint, better low light performance. There were just situations where your 300 worked better for our production. And what we found is that the image was very matchable to the Alexa. They played nice together. And we heard that repeatedly. There were actually productions that started with Alexa A and C300B that ultimately went to all C300. So one of the things that we realized was an important part of this camera was the ability to play nice with others. So we have built into the camera a series of different LUTs that you can set to match to an Alexa look, to match to an F55 look. In regards to the F55 look, it's when I disable the matrix on both cameras that it matches that 55. But the beauty of it is the engineers are listening to us and responding with feature sets that we've really been asking for. So it's really gratifying. Canon is this gigantic company that's diversified and has lots of things going on, but they're building some really nice cameras.
Yeah. One thing, I mean, one thing that I noticed that really appealed to me about this camera, I love the C500.
Yeah.
Not a ton of opportunities to use that, and obviously the big thing about that is using that 4K uncompressed RAW, which, you know, for a ton of applications is excellent. And a lot of people don't think about that non-debayered RAW,
right,
the quality you get out of that.
Right.
So one thing I like about this is basically just folding in the capabilities of the C500.
Absolutely.
As well as the rolling shutter on this is a lot better than the old one.
Read reset is twice as fast as the C300. So I've had my pro reps basically working on these cameras. We have what we call MTs, which are basically just test cameras that are brought into the country that allow us to kind of play with it a little bit. And they've been trying to break the cameras with Moray, with virtually all different bit rates, just kind of seeing where the camera breaks down. And one of the things that I'm blown away by is that the feedback from them has been, this camera is better than it should be. Because of the way it oversamples and downsamples for HD, it's the first camera we've made that completely eliminates Moray at HD, which is, it seems like an insignificant thing, but it's not. The camera basically comes as an EF or a PL mount, but unlike the C300, that mount is interchangeable. It's not user interchangeable, it's a service function, but this is a step in the right direction. If you look at the design of the mount on a Canon camera, the front mount of the body is actually a component that includes the sensor array. So they're all on the same gimbal. So for a variety of reasons, the engineers have designed this so that if there is torque on the lens or if there's any issues with the lens, it doesn't misalign the optical center of the lens and the sensor. So that obviously created issues for the engineers to make an interchangeable mount camera.
Right.
But they have promised us that that's what it'll be. It'll be a serviceable function. So if you buy an EF, you can have it switched over to PL, but it just has to go into service to do that. So we're getting there. Right. We're getting there.
Right. Yeah, I understand the design function of having those attached. That's definitely a huge quality thing, and it's going to make the camera more rugged.
Yeah.
So I guess last thing is just when is it going to be available for sale, and what's the price point on it?
So we're looking at September. Canon is always a little hesitant to talk about things that are months in advance. So this is startling to me that B&H already has pre-orders on their site for $16,000.
Nice.
I think the retail of the camera will be probably $20,000, but the street price or the retail price as it gets into the real world will be that $15,999. So basically comes in about $1,000 under where the C300 came in 3 years ago. We're pretty stoked about it. I got to tell you, it's a lot of camera for a really reasonable amount of money.